Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the first episode of Studio Time with Ryos. I'm super pumped to start this series, and basically I'm just going to be working on anything and everything that I normally would do, but now we get to hang out at the same time. See, I try to make music every single day, but not every day I work on music. I'm going to be focusing on a song that I'm going to release. Sometimes I like to work on different genres. I like to remake songs. I like to work on anything that's going to really sharpen my production skills and just experiment, really. Today, I want to work on an idea that I started a while ago that I think could make for a pretty cool song. So without further ado, let's get started with the first episode of Studio Time with your boy. All right, guys. So this is the idea that I created a while ago. It's actually, I created it last year. Oh my God, it's 2022. No, I created this in 2020 now. It's called Aura, but this is what it sounds like. So as you could see, just based on the project and everything else, it's very bare. Just a cool melody, maybe cool sounds if I decide to run with these, but again, mainly just a melody. Normally when I'm in the studio, I like to have a general direction that I'm trying to go in. And I think for this one, just based off the melody and the sounds that I already have here, I think it makes sense to do like a big progressive record. Maybe something that I would normally make, or, you know, along the lines of some of my other records. I think that makes sense here. So, let me just get started. Let's get going. First off, definitely gonna add a kick. I think a kick would probably be helpful here. Maybe I can use... I've been loving this kick lately. Being Alive kick. This is a great one. I feel like this could be so sick, actually. I'm going to create a lead group here because I know that I'm going to want a lead group at some point when we introduce some other leads. And then I'll do some like group processing here, like sidechain, filtering, all the good stuff. We'll start off with sidechain for now. We'll try like 70%. That's still too much. I want this melody to be very bouncy, if that makes sense. I don't want it to have too much sidechain. Or actually, I guess if I wanted it more bouncy, I would use more sidechain. So I want it to be more stabby. I guess that's a better word to use. Stabby. Great choice of vocabulary, Zane. Let me do the same for the piano. Sorry if I keep rubbing my legs, by the way. My hands are freezing. It's so cold in New York. That sounds good for the piano. I don't even know if I'm going to want a piano in this drop. But let's start building it out. First off, I really want to do the bass line. I feel like that's already kind of in my head. I'm thinking a bass line similar to like my track Monster or even my track Being Alive. I think I actually use the same bass line for both of those. But something just like super energetic. I think I want this drop to be more bass line heavy than chord heavy. So let's try it out. I'm going to actually pull up the stack that I used for Being Alive. Here we go. Top bass. So basically what I'm doing here right now is I'm just trying to get all the different layers on the right octave, because I have it all going to this little layer, which is super convenient in FL Studio. I could basically link these three instruments into one thing and then control it all like via keyboard and stuff. Pretty cool, but it's too high right now. I think I want this like super sawish bass to be even lower. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so let me add these to the mixer. Get some processing going. I am so freaking cold. I might have to get a hoodie. Yeah, can you actually? Look at that. Girlfriend coming in clutch. We could put on the heat, Zane. Come on. You know this. All right. Being Alive. Wait, did I not save the processing? Am I dumb? Maybe it's in the old section. It is in the old section. Okay, I'm not dumb. Great news. Wonderful. Oh, yeah. Love that for us. Okay. Now, I want to also... What I like doing is actually using these sampler channels because it's blank. There's no sounds linked to it. So because of that, I can put just some notes up here and then reference the notes when I'm making the bass line and like adjusting it and stuff. So first off, I'm going to basically make the rhythm of the drop leads and make a bass line at the same time. Listen, this is the first episode. Cut me some slack. It is hard to do something and talk at the same time. I'm young, but I'm old. Like, I'm only 23, but I swear, like, I might be old. It's hard to do two things at once, you know? Might be cool if I turn these down an octave too to make it really dark. Maybe too low. What if I just do the D? Okay. I like the way that sounds, but I'm losing like some power when I go this low. So, I mean, we'll take care of that later. That's fine. Actually, we could just probably address that now. So I think to solve our issue with the D, pause, I'm going to use the drone bass or the respace. This is a respace. But anyway, I'm going to take out the respace from this layer so that I can put the note here for the D higher. That might solve our issue. Definitely helps. So let's start building out this drop more. I know, like, for this drop, I still don't know if I'm going to do chords, but it definitely needs some drum excitement. In my head, I kind of hear, like, I hear something going on here, like maybe a cymbal roll clap thing. Let's check out what I have in my little pack here. It's like a roll. I don't know how to describe it. I hear it in my head so clear, though. So I think it might be offbeat. Yeah, okay, so it's offbeat, and I think I might want to use like a ride and no. Actually, speaking of ride, I could go ahead and throw that down because I know for sure I'm going to want to ride. Actually, this clap kind of sounds cool. We can keep it for now. We'll call this the off clap. I hear like a little fill right here, and I have one in mind that would work perfect. You can go ahead and pull it up fast. It's called Rapido, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that works. Maybe I would make something custom, but just for time's sake and so I can get this idea down, we'll just use this one. A lot of times when I'm working on an idea from scratch, I like to use a lot of sounds that I know work just for the sake of getting the idea down as fast as possible and really just capitalizing on the inspiration. Because sometimes if I don't work fast enough, I like lose inspiration or I lose the idea. And then it's just all downhill from there. You know what I'm saying? And in my head, I hear like a bounce right here. Maybe for now, we could just use the kick. It actually sounds cool with it being the kick there. But here, I hear a super clear fill. I've used it a bunch. All right, cool. Yeah, that's the fill that I wanted. We'll call this, what can we call this? First thing that comes to head, go. I said go, and a stoplight came to my head, so we're going to call this the stoplight fill. This is literally how I work, guys. I'm not even joking. I know I'm definitely going to need some sort of, like, downlifter for this drop, so I might as well just get it in there now. I like this one, and I like maybe this one, question mark. Add these to the mixer. Listen, I try to stay organized while I produce, but a lot of the times once I really get going, all organization just goes down the drain, and then I have to come back and do it later. So we're starting strong. Yeah, this sounds super sick, and I just realized I didn't even put a sub. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to take away these notes here just to clean it up. But yeah, so I might as well, since I'm using the top basses from Being Alive, I might as well use my sub bass as well, to be honest. So I'm just copying the pattern to the sub bass, throwing it in there, and then hopefully now we'll have more power. All right, yeah, this is very nice. I like where this is going. So I might want to do a little percussion following the lead melody, perhaps. So let's do perk gun here. Gonna add some sidechain to this as well. Excuse me, because I don't want it playing or interfering with the kick. All right, so let me go ahead and start adding more leads. I think that's what I would probably do next. See, this lead that I used here, EDM for life, which, true. It's a good sounding lead, but it's a little basic. I kind of want to spice it up and make it cooler. So let's go on the hunt. Let's try to find some cool sounds that we could pair with this. I'm going to open up Nexus first. So these are some leads that I have hearted. Let me see if any of them worked. Something's off here. Why is it... Look at it. Look at it in Kickstart. Why is there like a gap here? These are real problems that go on in the studio. Sometimes things just don't go the way you want it to. I'm going to just leave this as it is and do the sidechain on the individual channels instead of the group in this case. But I do like the sound. This is like a super harsh lead. This makes it sound more energetic, IMO. Harsh lead. And then I want to add a crash here. Maybe this one. This one's pretty simple and basic. We'll just use this one for now. All right, so need more lead work. This lead still isn't where I want it to be. I still haven't decided if I want that, you know, the lead that I have here. I don't know if I want it to be the main lead and have everything else supporting it, or if I want to create just like one giant lead that sounds unique, like all the individual layers just add up to one gigantic sound. Okay, so I definitely like the idea of having a more monophonic sound, because these are both like pretty stereo, wide, crazy sounds. So let me add something more like down the middle and almost basic sounding. I think that'll help give a warmer sound to all the leads. And then also I heard adding some cool percussion or hi-hats, like something here to give it more movement would sound dope. Maybe. Honestly, just for now, just to get the idea down, let's rock with it. And this is going to be like a fill, and I'm going to go use the bathroom.
A few moments later.
All right, I'm back. I was holding that for so long, I don't know why I just went. And I have my gallon jug here. Dude, I drink this every single day. Important to stay hydrated. Ugh. Throw that over there. All right. Let's get back to it. So, I don't love this lead actually upon further review, so let's find something else. Wait, this might make a cool layer actually. This is like super vibey. Yeah, that's sick. That's what I'm talking about. That's the dreamy lead right there if I've ever heard one. I still think we need like a warm lead though. This is kind of sounding a little thin, a little too stereo. By stereo, I mean like wide. Like I need some information in the middle. This one. See if we could add some warmth to these leads. And then I also think this is a very, how do I say it? This is a FIFA melody. Nah, but seriously what I mean is like sometimes there's like these melodies that just seem like a crowd would chant along to them. So it could be cool to have a sampled vocal or something sing this melody too. I think that'll give it some nice organic qualities. That's a good word. I'll take that. Something, if you guys join me on the series, you're going to see that a lot of the times my vocabulary is that of a first grader. My vocabulary is not dense. That's pretty good. I'll take that. Anyway, okay, let's add this warm lead. It's a little crazy, but reduce it. And then also I want to take out some of this low here. I don't know what all of this hoopla is. I'm going to also make it more mono. More centered focus. I'm going to take out the reverbs and delays that are on the synth as well. Oh, wait, the piano was playing by accident, and that sounded sick actually. So maybe we will use the piano in the drop. Let me go back to that idea of adding like a chant vocal. I have one that I use all the time that's from a very old track of mine. If you guys know Armageddon, which I released with Joey Dale in 2015, I think. Very long time ago. But Tony Rodini, the vocalist on that song, he recorded gang vocals, and I sampled it a long time ago, and I low-key just use it from time to time just as a layer. It makes it feel like someone singing along to the melody. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up. Here we go. I'm hearing one more lead. I kind of want to add like another very EDM-y style lead. What if I copied this processing onto this one here? Loving the direction so far. I think the only other thing that I would want to add to this lead stack is something to represent the highs better, because they're getting a little bit lost, and I kind of want this like fuzzy texture to the lead. So we'll call it fuzzy layer. Yeah, I mean, I like this. Let's keep it going. Let me duplicate this here. I'm going to take out some of the drums here. This is going to be like a little fill. And then this is where things will keep going. Copy it over. I'd love to add some claps for the second half of the drop. Here we go. Let's keep it going. Some hi-hats. I'm not vibing with these leads 100% yet still. Maybe... Let me try changing this one. Okay, so perhaps one more layer. This is a lot, but just to try to get this idea down, I'm going to try to add a pluck here. We'll try Nexus again, because there's actually one in particular that I want to try that might give these leads a cool texture. I think it's called Dark Pluck, I think. Yeah. This one might work well. I'm going to add Camel Crusher to this pluck as well, because this British Clean preset adds a lot of transient to the sound, so... Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, I think the lead stack is going to be good for now, because this is a lot. Okay, so I actually don't want the dark pluck there. It's making the leads too spacious. I kind of want a clean synth lead to round off the stack. So we're going to go ahead, go back to the EDM pack, just find something quick that could be a nice filler. I want to add more mid-range, and I like using equality for that. This sounds really nice when you boost the mid-range. I want more of like a nasally quality here. I'm going to create a top bass group, and the reason I like doing this is so that I can mess with the top basses without affecting the sub, because you don't want to do that all the time. So this will be the top bass group, and I literally just want to boost the 150 or so range. I think it needs some love in that department, so let's try it out. Sounds lovely. I love it. I'm going to actually have to turn up the latency some more, because, again, if you guys didn't see my last video, I can't use my baby Apollo. I have to use FL Studio sound card to record these videos. Yeah, I looked into it, can't find a workaround. So for now, we have to use FL Studio sound card. And the reason that's of importance, by the way, is because I can add a lot more and not have to deal with lag. like a lot more sounds. Anyway, yeah, let's move on. It's missing some drum love for sure. I think maybe adding some claps on beat will help. I don't want them to be gigantic though. This is a pretty good clap. I like this one. Maybe raise these and then maybe have like a little sweep or something going into it. We'll just use the same clap and just reverse it. Yeah, that sounds way cooler. All right, that sounds very nice. I want to add some pitch bending here too for the basses. All right, so now that I have these created, let me go ahead and mess with them. I know right here I want it to go up or down. And then I wanted to have like this like neum effect for the second time. And I know that that would be going up and then pitching it down like this. Yeah, and then that's exactly what I'm looking for. And then if I just bring these down. I'm having some trouble with that 150 hertz bass range. I might have to break out the super fat bass. If you know, you know. But do I want to do that yet? Let me see. Yeah, I think honestly we might have to break out the super fat bass. I'm just tightening up this pitch automation. I also heard a hey chant right here. I think a little hey. I think that'll sound good. I should have one. Chant. If I pitch this up maybe? Maybe not this one. This one's too tonal. I kind of want a little, like a shout. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I'm going to add the super fat bass. I got to break it out. All caps as well. You know that. All right, guys, so if you don't know what the super fat bass is, it's exactly what it sounds like. I used it in my song Monster, and I talked about it a little bit there. But quickly, I'll run through the processing. So by itself, it's like a future house bass, right? And I don't think the sound source really matters, but as long as you like distort it, saturate it, and then use an R bass, that's like the secret sauce. And then also make it mono. You can see here I'm really dialing in, focusing on this range here. Yeah, that sounds great. Definitely sounds fatter, which is what was desired. So another thing that I'm missing here are some low toms to really help with like the low end movement of this drop. I'm gonna go ahead and just add this one here, play the kick, and then some of the basses, and really dial in this rhythm. So. And these leads feel a little bit thin to me, so I actually am going to boost the mono range of the lower body of the synth. This is going to help it feel like it has a little bit more power down the middle and also just make it feel warmer. All right, so now that I'm at this spot, I could focus on some more details, minutia, or I could focus on working on the rest of the track. I don't think I'm going to work on a break right now, or like, you know, the very beginning of the song. Perhaps I would do like a moment where all the synths are playing giant, like over here. One of the warmer leads I don't need here. Let's start maybe on a quick build. Okay, so let me make a quick snare barrel. Let me go ahead and make a quick snare build pattern. Do I want the leads to be going on big in the build? I don't know. It could be cool to have it like echoing out like a delay here, like da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. I think I want to do that. So hold your horses. Before I do the snare build, let me have that in place. Okay, so I'm going to turn the feedback all the way up, or a good amount, otherwise it's not going to sound good. And then let me go ahead and record this in. And then another thing that I should probably do is create like a reverse reverb for this stack. Okay, that should be sufficient for now. So back to the build. Let me go ahead and create a very groundbreaking build-up. Just repeating these snares. I've done this a million times now at this point, probably. Honestly, how many times have I created a build in my life? Over 10,000? Nah, no way. Maybe. I don't know. I've been producing for a long time. I don't know. But anyway, I think I want it to stay the same pitch until the last bar. I think that'll sound nice. Yo, this track could actually be so sick. That's crazy. I'm going to want to take a break soon, which means I'm probably going to end this video shortly. So, I mean, I don't want to go so crazy with the build. So I think because I have, you know, this melodic moment where it introduces the drop synths already, I don't want the melody to continue in the build because then it's going to play for another 16 bars on the drop. That's a lot of the same melody. So maybe right here we'll have like the delay fade out and I'll just like have everything sustained. Oh yeah. I should really filter out the piano, but I'm too lazy right now. Let me go ahead and just add some impacts and effects just to humor you. This would be cool here. And then some like risers. Whoops. I'm choking. I need to turn down the master a bit during the build because it gets too hectic. And I want to make it go lower so then when the drop hits, it's way more louder. So we're going to just pull up Fruity Balance for that. Balance. And we're going to turn things down. Uh-oh, I'm getting delirious. I'm starting to do accents. And we do not want to be here when I start doing accents. Oh, goodness. Okay. Boom. This needs to be here. 73 is normally a good number. I believe that's around 2 dB. Boom. Go like this. Okay, very cool. All right, so if I do decide to keep that whole part in, I'm sorry, because the piano's got to go. Hate to break it to you. And if I do decide to cut this out, then you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. So basically, I just wasted like 15 minutes of my time creating this piano just to decide that it doesn't sound good. This happens in the studio a lot to me. So I think for sure I keep this bass here. You know, actually, I might want to lower this. Maybe another time, but I could try doing that for the super fat bass. That might sound cool. This might sound dope. Hold up. Huh. Okay, yeah. That's what we need. All right. I think I'm going to call it there. I am very hungry and want to eat dinner, and this was actually pretty productive. So, I mean, realistically, I would make this more interesting. Once I have like a vocal and like verse / break elements, I would probably incorporate that into here. The build is very rough, but I do like this idea of having, you know, the lead reverse and the lead and the lead delay, as well as this bass that sustains. This sound would probably change, but who knows? Maybe, listen, I'm gonna do this series more because I love the idea. I don't know if I'm gonna continue, like make like a part 2. I don't know, maybe. Let me know down below. I think that's gonna do it for the first episode of Studio Time with Ryos. Listen, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun. This is basically like producing with some friends in the studio, and I love it. I'm just talking and bullshitting and making cool songs, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this, but I had a lot of fun making it. So that's gonna do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time I upload. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you next time.